So today we have the question as find a bilinear transformation which maps infinity I0 into -1, -I and 1. Also find invariant points. So here to find a bilinear transformation, they should give 3 points in Z plane and corresponding 3 points in W plane, else we cannot find. If they have given more than this, we can easily do it. But minimum required are 3 set of points. So here I'll explain through the first method, which is called as cross ratio method. So what you do, first you write the points, okay, the points in Z plane and W plane as two different sets. So tell me whether this first bracket is for the values of Z or is it for W. If you read out, you will come to know. Tell me, this first bracket is for the values of Z or W. See, last time we have seen that here we have two planes. One is Z plane, another one is W plane. So here, if you take any curve here, you will get the corresponding image in W plane. It's not the reverse case. So what is being given here? Find the bilinear transformation which maps these points into this set of points. Now can you answer? Try to answer.
Ma'am, Z.
Yeah, these are first set is for Z because you should read the question carefully. Sometimes no, they give it in a reverse way. So here these points are being mapped into this. Means these are infinity I0 are the values of Z given. So first we'll write the general format. To write the general format, just take it as 4 points. So first point compulsory Z. Next you take it as Z1, Z2, Z3. Corresponding to this, take the values of W as W, W1, W2 and W3. You write it like this, it will be easy. Now, can anybody tell me what is a cross ratio? Last time I have told you how to write it. Go on taking the difference but leaving one difference in between. Okay, start from the first point. Z minus. Okay, just write. This is what is called as cross ratio. So cross ratio is Z minus Z1. Leave this next. Z1 minus Z2 you leave. Then start from again Z2 minus Z3. Then divided by what you left, you should go again in cyclical order and take it. So Z minus Z1 is taken up. What is left out is Z1 minus Z2. Take it in the denominator. Similarly, Z2 minus Z3 is taken. Which is not taken? Z3 minus Z. So actually, if you find a difference in cyclical order with no repetition, you will get 4 differences. 2 are written in numerator and 2 are written in the denominator in some particular order. Same thing you will get here on RHS, only instead of Z, you will be having it as W. So what it is? W minus W1, W2 minus W3 upon, tell me what it is? W1 minus W2 and W3 minus W. Okay. You write a cross ratio, they may give you 1 mark. Okay. After this, what we have to do is just see the points, given points. So this is corresponding to Z values. So can anybody tell me? So before substituting, no, so actually we have to substitute now after this. We have to keep Z and W as they are. Only Z1 to Z3 and W1 to W3 we have to substitute. Before substitution, you have to just check is any point is infinity. Because if I write any point as infinity, if I substitute, no, that quantity becomes infinity, you will not get any transformation. Tell me, is it any point is infinity given? Any point is infinity. Can you just see?
Yes, ma'am. Z plane, first point.
Yeah, it is first point of Z. First point of Z is denoted as what? First point
One.
of view is Z1, right? So Z1 is infinity. Usually when infinity comes, what we do? Usually when infinity comes, we feel it is difficult and all. Just 1 second. Okay. Now here, if any point is infinity, no, if anything is infinity, we feel it difficult. But if it is infinity, no, you feel it good in case of bilinear. I'll tell you why. See, this first point of Z is infinity. That means here Z1 is infinity. So Z1 is appearing in how many brackets? Check in cross ratio. If you answer the questions, it is going to be easy, otherwise difficult.
Two,
Z1 is
ma'am.
appearing in two brackets, one in numerator and one in denominator. This happens for any point. Any point. You take any point, it appears in two brackets, one in numerator and one in denominator. So if any point is infinity, this is a case where Z1 is infinity. I'm telling in general, any point is infinity. First take it outside from the bracket, cancel it and then substitute. Okay. Now, if I put it as infinity, it is problematic. So can you tell me what is 1 by infinity?
0.
0. Is 0 problematic? Surely no. Correct? So what we'll do now, here Z1 is there in this bracket as well as this bracket. We'll take it common. Other all things will keep it same. So if I take a Z1 common, can you tell me what you'll get here? There is no Z1. What I have to do for this Z? If it's not common, what I have to do?
Divided by Z.
Divided by Z1. Correct? See, if I take this inside, is it not, you will get again Z. So Z1 is taken out. What remains in this place?
1.
1 remains, obviously. Now don't disturb any other bracket. Keep it as same. Now here again there is a Z1. Take it common. So what happens to this term? What I have to write? What I have to take? What I have to write? Is it not 1?
1
1. There is no Z1. What I have to do then here?
Z2 by Z1.
Z2 by Z1. Okay, now other things are same. I'll not repeat RHS. I have to write the same thing. Now what happens? Isn't not Z1 can be cancelled? Okay, this is the thing. If any point is infinity, else you have to proceed ahead. Am I clear? Am I clear? Okay. Now what you do? Just see these points and do substitute. So you can just put, I'll just write it here. Z1 is infinity, Z2 is I, Z3 is 0. And what are these? These are the values of W. So W1 is -1, W2 is -I, and W3 is what? +1. Let us substitute these values over here. So if Z1 is infinity, Z1 is infinity. So any number divided by that infinity, what is the value of this? What is the value of this?
0.
Is it not 0? Yes. 0 minus 1. Then what is Z2? Check. What is Z2? Is I.
I.
What is Z3? You should tell fast. See, Z3 is 0. Here, 1 minus. Again, Z2 is some quantity, but you have a Z1 and Z1 is infinity. Means what happens to this quantity?
0.
Again 0.
0.
What is Z3? 0. Keep Z and W same. Now here, W minus W1. What is my W1? What is W1?
-1.
Minus 1.
Minus
What is W2?
-I.
W2 is minus I. Minus, what is W3?
1.
Is 1. divided by W1
-1.
-1, W2 is minus I. Straight away you can write minus and minus as plus. Okay, I'm showing you the substitution. W3 is 1. W should be written as W only. Okay. This is what is after substitution. See what is happening as the point is infinity. One of the point is infinity. The bracket which was containing that infinity will give you the quantity as -1 altogether. See, if I simplify this, this is -1. So B, okay, that will make it simple. Otherwise, if it is complex like this, no, we have to just simplify the part. Now, let us write the remaining terms. What is this now? What is remaining? -1 into I. Isn't it minus I? What will get here? 1 into minus Z. Minus Z. Now simplify. This is W plus 1. Now in this, no, I'll just take minus outside. That is better because both are negative. So if I take a minus out here, what is this bracket going to be? Isn't it 1 plus I? So what simplification will do now is going to differ from problem to problem. By seeing the complexity, we are going to simplify it. Now this is actually -1, minus into minus plus I. Okay, so this is now, I'll just take a minus out to get rid of this minus. So what will get? Isn't it 1 minus I? Then what is this? 1 minus W as it is. Okay, now here if you just see, we have complex numbers. Usually if complex numbers are there, we try, okay, so this minus will go, this minus will go, that is there. Now if any complex number in the denominator, we think of rationalization, isn't it? Tell me in the denominator which complex number you have.
1 minus I.
1 minus I. So how to rationalize it?
Multiply by 1 plus I.
Multiply and divide by the conjugate pair. How to write the conjugate pair? Instead of I, take it as minus I. So it becomes 1 plus I divided by 1 plus I. So I cannot do it only for denominator. To balance, do it for the numerator also. Yeah, let us simplify. So this is I by Z. So this is W plus 1 as it is, will not disturb. I'll just multiply these two brackets. Isn't it they are same? So what it will be if I multiply? 1 plus I the whole square. Whole square, correct? Yeah. If it is not whole square, you can just multiply as it is usual. Even though I would have multiplied it, no problem. Next, this is 1 minus W, I'll write as it is. Now just see here, 1 minus I into 1 plus I is how much? In which format it is?
A square minus
A
B
plus
square.
B, A minus B.
It is in the form A minus B into A plus B. The formula, as she said, it is A square minus B square. 1 square minus I square. Okay. Yeah, let us simplify this part. So this is going to be W plus 1. Can you tell me the expansion of this? A plus B the whole
2
square.
A plus B whole square.
A square plus B square plus 2AB. Okay, divided by 1 minus W as it is. This is 1 minus. Can you tell me what is I square?
-1.
I square is
Minus.
-1, so that it becomes minus into minus plus 1. Okay, I'll tell you some simplification here. See, I square is -1. So this value, this numerator I square will be -1 and we have a +1. What happens to these two?
Cancels.
Yeah, they will cancel, right? It becomes, we can write this is 0. Now this is 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1, 2, right? This 2 can be cancelled with this 2. Next, one more simplification we can do. Anybody can tell me that?
I and I.
Yes, you have a I and I on both the sides, just cancel it. So actually this bracket is going to be cancelled. So these are the remaining things. Now, bilinear transformation means it should be W as a function of Z. You would have written it as like taking a reciprocal, you would have got Z as a function of W, but that is a wrong way. You should always write W as a function of Z. For that, We'll just cross multiply. Okay. So I'll take this 1 minus w to the LHS part. So here you have it as 1. So I'll get it as only 1 minus w. I shift my z here. What do you have already on RHS part here? You have a w plus 1. So that z will be shifted up, numerator. Am I correct with this? Now, just simplify, just multiply. So this is wz plus z. I'm taking z inside. Now what do you do? Collect the terms containing w on one side. How many such terms are there? There are 2 terms. So better you shift this w and take it, and then this is it becomes extra, take it on the other side. So if I write this quantity, so this is like wz already present here. If I shift my minus w, it becomes plus w. Okay, this plus z if I shift, already what you have is 1. If you shift plus z, it becomes a minus z. Hope the part is clear. Now, what is common here? W. So I'll get it as z plus 1 equal to 1 minus z. Correct? I want w to be a function of z. Means I'll keep only w here. I'll shift the terms that side. So it is 1 minus z upon, you can write z plus 1, or it looks good if you write 1 plus z. Now you have a quantity. Do you remember the standard form? Az plus b divided by cz plus d. This verification will usually not do. I'm just explaining with the help of a like the definition. You remember? This is called as bilinear transformation if one condition is there. In the definition, there is a condition. Anybody?
AB minus BC not equal to 0.
AD minus BC not equal to 0. Just compare these two. Tell me what is A. A is coefficient of Z in the numerator. What is the coefficient of Z? Minus 1. What is B? B is 1. What is C? See, actually all coefficients are 1. Only no, this is minus Z. Correct. That means only A is minus 1. Rest B, C, D all are 1. Let us take this. If I multiply minus 1 into 1, AD minus BC I am taking. Minus 1 into 1 is minus 1 minus BC. 1 into 1 is again 1. Is minus 1 is 0 or not 0?
Not 0.
Not 0. It is minus 2. Correct? So it is not equal to 0. So this verification I am just telling you to recall the definition. It's not necessary that you have to check, but you should be aware. Okay. So you can say this is the required bilinear transformation. So what simplification we do, it depends on the problem. Try not to make it very complex. Complex in the sense like simply if you go on multiplying and then want to cancel, no, it is really going to trouble you. Okay. Yeah. They have asked the invariant points. Anybody remembers how to find invariant points? What we have to do? Huh? To find invariant points, just put W equal to Z. Yesterday I told you. Let me call this as equation 1. So replace this W by Z, you will get invariant. Invariant means a point in Z plane is same and also its image in W plane is also. If you are getting it as same, it is a invariant point. So in place of this W, I'll write it as Z. What I have to do with RHS? Is it same or any change? RHS I have to write same or change? It is same. Only W you take it as Z. Now what do you do? Cross multiply. So if I cross multiply, this is Z into 1 plus Z is equal to 1 minus Z. Correct? Take it inside. This is Z into 1 is Z. Z into Z. Z is Z square. Shall I cancel a Z here? Shall I cancel a Z? No, no. No, we cannot. Shift this minus Z here. It becomes plus Z. This Z along with this Z, what will get? 2z. And this
2z.
one, if you shift, it is minus 1. Just you can solve it in your calculator. Else we can apply the concept minus b plus or minus and get the points. Okay, let me apply that. What is my b? My a is 1. My b is 2. My c is minus 1. The formula is minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Why I am applying this? Because it's a quadratic equation. Okay, what is my b? Minus 2 plus or minus. What is b square? If I square this value, 4 minus 4 into a is 1 and c is minus 1 divided by 2 into 1. Can you tell me what you'll get? Plus or minus, sorry, minus 2. It is minus 2 plus or minus. What do you get here? This is minus into minus plus. 4 plus 4. Answer fast. 4 plus 4 is 8. How can I write root 8? Isn't it 2 root 2? Huh? Connection गेलं. दे ग रेडमी दे. Yes. So here this point, what can I take common here? This is minus 2, huh? Isn't it? If I take cancel a 2, what will get? Minus 1 plus or minus root 2. Am I correct? So I think in calculator you may get it as irrational. I don't know how you'll get it, but this is how we can find it a irrational root. Your usual school method to find the roots. So one point is minus 1 plus root 2, another point is minus 1 minus root 2. Can you tell me what these are called? Invariant points. I'll tell you the meaning of this. That means if I take in Z plane the point as minus 1 plus root 2, in W plane also I will get the same image. Means the corresponding value of W is also minus 1 plus root 2. Under what transformation? Under this equation. Are you getting it? That is what this is called as invariant. Just see here. If I am taking infinity in Z plane, what I am getting the image? Minus 1. It's not an invariant. I am taking a I, I am getting a minus I. Got it? So in this transformation, in this bilinear transformation, which are the 2 points which are going to remain the same or invariant points are these two. Okay, this is like a concept. If you have understood good, else also not to worry. Understand the method. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Let me take another example. Is it clear how to find the bilinear transformation? If you have doubts, you can just ask. So I'll just write the question. So we have to find the bilinear transformation which maps the point 1i minus 1 into 0, 1, infinity. 0, 1, infinity. Okay. So what we have to do first is we have to write the cross ratio, isn't it? How to write the points? So let me just, shall I write the cross ratio directly? Huh? If you tell me yes, I'll proceed. Otherwise, I have to just explain everything. Let me just save the time by writing the cross ratio directly. You know how to take it. It is like Z, Z1, Z2, Z3, W, W1, W2, W3. Yeah, cross ratio is what? Z minus Z1 into Z2 minus Z3 upon Z1 minus Z2 into Z3 minus Z. So here it is W minus, yes? Anything I missed? W minus W1, W2 minus W3 upon, yeah, somebody can help me. W3 minus W. Okay. Now just see these points. Tell me which point is infinity. Which point is infinity?
W3.
W3. Yeah, this is W3, which is
W3.
infinity. Now W3 is appearing, isn't it, in two brackets? Yeah, this is the first bracket, then this is the second bracket. Always it happens. One in numerator, one denominator. So what has to be done? If you are getting any point as infinity, what has to be done? Take that point as common. Correct? If I take a W3 common, what remains in the bracket?
W2 by
W2 by
W3.
W3 minus 1.
-1. Very good. Here, don't disturb the first bracket. What is to be done with the second bracket? Take again W3 common because it is infinity. What will you get?
1 minus Z upon W3.
Yeah, W upon W3.
1 minus W divided by W.
Yeah. Tell me what is Z1? See the points and tell me what is Z1 to be substituted now. See, okay, one simplification. Why we took common? To cancel it. Huh.
1.
Put Z1 as 1. Z2 is
1.
I.
I
Z3 is -1. See, these are the
minus 1.
values of Z. These are the values of W.
I
What is W1?
minus
0.
0.
0.
W2 is 1. W3 is infinity.
Infinity.
Yeah, let us substitute. So this is Z minus. What is Z1? Is 1. Z2, yeah. Some student can help me, no? Now we are here in substitution. Z2 is
I.
I. Z3
I.
is, shall I
I
write it as +1 now directly?
minus 1.
Write it, we will not write. Step I'll write. Z3 is -1.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Z1 is 1 minus I. Z3 is -1 minus Z. Okay, this side. W minus W1 is how much? 0. If I put Z,
0.
W3 as infinity, what will be this quantity? 0 minus 1. Again,
0.
W1 is 0. W2 is 1. Again, 1 minus. W3 is infinity. What is this quantity? 0. This is the simplest example among all. I'll tell you why. Just see, this is now Z minus 1. What is this? I plus 1. No, I'll write it as 1 plus I. Correct? Okay. This is 1 minus I. No problem. Here, isn't it both are negative, means better take a minus out. If I take a minus out, what will you get?
1 plus Z.
1 plus Z.
Z.
Now this side, no, luckily what is happening is so many terms are getting cancelled and coefficient is not complicated. That's why it's said this problem comes, you are very lucky. So this is like -1. This can be cancelled with this -1. Tell me what is remaining then. Isn't it W? Only W. And how we want our bilinear transformation? W is a function of Z. Can I say this is the required transformation? Can I say a required transformation?
No.
No, not it. Why? Because it should be like AZ plus B divided by CZ plus D. Tell me what can be done then.
Rationalizing.
Yeah, we need to rationalize it. See, this is actually the required thing only, but we have some complex number. We'll rationalize it. So we have to multiply and divide by the conjugate pair. What is a conjugate pair of 1 minus I?
1 plus I.
1 plus I. Multiply and divide by that. I'm doing some simplification here only. This is W equal to, this is now, I'll write this minus over here. So this is Z minus 1. Okay, this minus I'm taking. Now this is like 1 plus I and 1 plus I. What we have observed, 1 plus I the whole square. Whole square. Now denominator, if you see, it is 1 plus Z. Okay. Now this is in the form 1 plus I into 1 minus I. A square minus B square. Okay. Yeah. I'll take this minus inside to avoid confusion. So what do you get? If you take a minus inside, it is 1 minus Z. Expand this. 1 square a square plus b square plus 2ab divided by 1 plus z 1 square. What is I square? Minus 1. So this becomes
Minus
plus 1. Okay. In this here, what is I square is minus 1. This minus 1 gets cancelled with plus 1. Okay. Now 1 plus 1 is 2. This cancels with this 2. What remains? What remains in this cancellation? Only I will remain. So I'll write that I outside. This is like 1 minus z upon 1 plus z. This you can say required bilinear transformation. If they have asked the invariant point, you should find, else this is the end of the problem. Okay? Is the part clear? This is some simple example. And these are from question paper only. They will ask such. Model question paper has got very simple problems. Even in exam, they ask very simple. But one little disadvantage of this is some students get stuck. They will make it complex by multiplying. So if it is necessary, multiply, else you try to rationalize and simplify like this. Okay. Yeah, I'll explain that one more method, how to get a bilinear transformation. Is this method clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. See, usually we prefer this cross ratio method if any point is infinity. Suppose if it is not infinity, no, even that bracket will come into, see, these two brackets will be there. So it becomes more complex. If the point is infinity, I suggest you go for this cross ratio. Else you can apply that next method. Even that is more general. Huh? You can even apply when it is infinity also. Huh? It is not like any restriction. Finding bilinear can be done in two ways. One is cross ratio, one is general method. So I'll write the example. So again, the question is same. Find the bilinear transformation which maps, okay, which maps z equal to 1i minus I into w equal to 2i minus 2. Okay. Now here this general method means what we have to do is we have to take the general bilinear transformation. Can anybody tell me in the definition what we have taken? How we have taken the general transformation? Huh? Definition.
AZ plus B upon CZ.
CZ plus B, good, divided by CZ plus D. Be the required bilinear transformation. This itself is bilinear only. This is the answer actually, but it has got some unknowns. What they are? Huh? What they are? What are the unknowns? Means this is general,
AB.
right? It contains A, B, C, D. So if you get the values of A, B, C, D and substitute here, that is a required bilinear transformation. And to get this, we have to take the help of the given thing. Okay? Are you getting it? It is just like if you remember, if you want to find the equation of a circle with some condition given, no? We have to take that general format only is the required equation. Then we have to simplify and get it as F, G, and C. If you recall your circle problems. Huh? Similarly here in bilinear, we need to find what are A, B, C, D. If you just once get it, substitute back, that is the required bilinear transformation. And just call this as equation 1. Okay. Now, you know three conditions. What are they? If you take Z as 1, what is that corresponding value of W we have to take? For Z equal to 1, what is the corresponding W? 2, right? So, what do you do? Take the first set and substitute. So, put Z equal to 1 and W equal to 2 where? In equation 1. Yeah, let us do it. So, this W is 2. This is AZ and Z is 1. So, it is what? A plus B divided by
C plus
A
B.
plus B divided by C plus D. Am I correct?
D.
Am I right? Is the part clear? Just a substitution. Now what you do, just cross multiply and take all the terms on one side. Means here to get the values of 4 unknowns, you should have now actually 4 equations in 4 unknowns. So we are constructing those equations with the help of given thing. Okay. Now this is A plus B. Here only A plus B. Now first we'll cross multiply and take the terms. So what happens if I shift my C plus D here? It becomes 2C plus 2D. Correct? Shift it to this side. What will be the term? This is plus 2C. If I shift on the other side,
Minus 2C. 2D.
minus 2D. Very good.
2.
Yeah, equal to 0. Try to write the equation in this format. That is far better. Take this as some equation 2. If anything is common, you should take common and then simplified equation can be numbered. Okay. Now can anybody tell me what can be done next? Please answer. Yeah. Like first point, we have the second point. What is that? We have for z equal to I. Tell me what is the corresponding image?
I.
I only. Actually, it's an invariant point. So just put z equal to I and w equal to I. Where again? Same equation 1. Yeah. So if I substitute in place of w, if I write it as I, this is like AI plus B divided by CI plus D. Correct? Now, same way we have to do. First, you transfer the terms and take the terms on one side. Already what we have is AI plus B. We already have it. See this little careful. Huh? If I shift my CI here, this CI into I is what? I square C. What is I square?
-1.
Minus 1. So this, if you cross multiply, the quantity will be minus C. If I shift here, what it will be? Plus.
Plus.
Similarly, this D, if I shift here, I'll get it as ID. Correct? Plus ID if you shift it on the other side.
Minus ID.
Minus ID. Done. Okay, can't simplify again anything. What is the last point? Put Z equal to -1 and what is W?
-2.
Again in equation 1. So what happens to equation 1? See, this is -2 equal to A into -1 means minus A plus B divided by minus C plus D. Correct? My Z is -1. Okay. Again, already what we have is minus A plus B we have. I'll write it. Now, I shift minus C into -2 is how much?
Plus C.
Plus
Plus 2C.
take it on the other side. It becomes -2C.
Minus 2C.
This D into -2 means -2D. Shift on the other side.
Plus 2D.
Plus 2D. This is my equation 4. Can I get one more equation? Surely no. Because there are only 3 points given. I cannot take any point randomly. Got it? So, actually to solve 4 equation, minimum we required 4 equation in 4 unknowns. But it is not possible. How many unknowns are there here? There are 4 unknowns. And how many equations are there? Only 3 are there. 3 are there. So, we'll try to reduce these with the help of these equation. We'll try to reduce the number of unknowns to be less. Okay, number of unknowns to be less than 4. For that, we'll try, okay, for this problem, it will be easy. This is A and this is minus A. So if I add it, what happens to my A? Isn't it? It will be eliminated.
Cancel.
Cancel. So it depends. You get some set of equation. You have to just see, you should reduce the number of unknowns. It can be by multiplying with some constant, then by adding or subtracting, whatever it is. see the equation and decide. So after seeing this, I can easily form one more thing. That is, I'll add equation 2 and 4, isn't it? So A will be cancelled. Okay, add the LHS parts. Hopefully you can understand. See, A minus A is 0, B plus B, because we are adding it. B plus B is 2B.
B.
Minus 2C minus 2C is how much?
Minus
Minus
4C.
Minus 4C. Now, minus 2D plus 2D. Concentrate equation 2 and 4. Minus 2D plus 2D is how much? 0.
0.
Equal to 0. So, same equation I'll write by simplifying. What is common here?
2.
2 is common. Just cancel that 2 and write the equation. See how I'll write it.
B.
I'll write like this. B minus 2C.
Minus 2.
Actually, there is no D, but I will write like this. I'll tell you why little bit later on. Okay, to take this as equation 5. I'm getting this equation. I'm just write the coefficient of D. That's all. Now, how we have got rid, like we wanted to get rid of A. Similarly, don't use the same two equation. With one of the equation, you can make use of the remaining one more and get rid of the same unknown. Maybe like A only. Are you getting it? I'm going to construct now two equations in 3 unknowns. So can apply one method. Okay. Now I want to get rid of A. So this is A. For equation 2 it is A. For equation 3 it is AI. Okay. How can I cancel it?
Multiplying I.
Multiply by
Minus
Equation 2 by I.
minus I.
Add it to equation 3 or subtract?
Subtract.
Subtract. So this is minus equation 3. That's all. Okay, so if I do it, obviously my A will be cancelled. Don't worry about other things. Keep in mind, after simplification, you are getting one equation not containing A. Try to find one more equation not containing A only. Okay, for this problem. Maybe for other problems, B may be eliminated, C or D. See that and decide. Okay, let us apply this. So obviously, if I multiply by I and subtract, these two will go. Okay, now next. Next, multiply by I here. Okay, this equation we are multiplying by I. So it becomes IB minus B because minus equation 3. So what will get? What is IB minus B means? You can take a B common. What will get? Here you will get a I. Here you will get a minus 1. Am I right with the coefficient? Okay,
Yes,
so clear. Similarly, here I am multiplying by I. So it is minus 2I and minus C. So if I take a C out, I'll get a minus 2I and minus 1. Am I correct? Okay. Here I am multiplying by I, equation 2. So this is minus 2ID minus into minus plus ID is how much? Minus 2ID plus
Minus ID.
minus ID is equal to 0. Let me take now anything. We
Minus
cannot take
ID.
anything common. Take it as equation 6. Here we have now two equations in 3 unknowns. We'll try, okay, we'll do it by one method which is called as cross multiplication method. Maybe while studying eigenvalues, eigenvectors in semester 1 you might have learned. Else I'll just tell you, just concentrate how to take it. So here you have to take like this. What are the unknowns here? What are the unknowns?
B, C, and D.
B, C and D. Okay, write like this. B upon, C upon, and D upon. Then you just write a determinant here. Below all the unknown, no, you write just a determinant. Now what is to be written here is, see, you should go always in a cyclical way. How the unknowns are, it is like B, then C, and then D, and then you can say it as B. My A is not there in this. Okay. Now, when I write the denominator of B, I should write first column as coefficients of C, second column as coefficients of D for both the equations in order. Means, I'm writing the denominator of B. Here I should write coefficient of C, both. From equation 5, what is the coefficient of C?
2.
Huh?
-2.
Minus 2.
-2.
Along with C, you have -2. Down you should write the coefficient of C from the second equation. Next equation. What is there? -2i minus 1 is there. I'll take a minus out and write. Is it okay? 1 plus 2i. To avoid so many minus. What I have written for B? First I am writing the coefficient of C. Then I should write the coefficient of D. This is what the method is. Means for B coefficient will not come. Got it? Now, what are the coefficients of D here? From first equation?
0.
0. See, that's why I have written it as 0, huh? Because I wanted it. Similarly, what is the coefficient of D?
Minus I.
Minus I.
Minus I. Do write it here. Okay. Now for C, you should write it as D first. Cyclically, it should go. So first you should write the coefficient of D. What is the coefficient of D? 0.
0.
And down?
Minus I.
Okay. Now you should write it for C. D is done means you should write now B. What is the coefficient of B here?
1.
1. What is the coefficient of B here? I minus 1.
Minus.
Yeah. Now for D, can anybody tell me what I have to write first? Coefficient of
B.
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 B
B.
and then C. Tell me what is the coefficient of B? It is 1.
1.
And then down. Coefficient of B.
I minus 1.
I minus 1.
I
Yes,
minus
tell me this column.
minus 2.
Minus 2 and take a minus common. 1 plus 2i. Is this part clear? This is how it should be written. Means for denominator, okay, for any unknown, denominator contains the coefficient of other two unknowns. Means if B is there, B coefficient will not come. Similarly for C, C coefficient will not come. And for D, D coefficient will not come. Other two will come. And it should be in order. Is the method clear? Now next part is easy. Next part is like how you solve a determinant. How you solve this determinant? Is it not like this? Multiply these two minus product of these two. Correct? Same way. Minus 2 minus I is how much?
2i.
2i. Minus here what is
0.
happening? This is 0 means it becomes 0. Not to worry. Again, this is C upon. So here if I cross multiply these two, what happens?
0.
Isn't it 0? Minus, what is the product of these two? Minus I.
Minus I.
Minus I. Now here this is little lengthy, huh? Because nothing is 0. Now cross multiply. So 1 into this means same thing. Minus 1 minus 2i. Correct? Now multiply these two. You know that when you take a product of these two, you should take a minus. So that minus along with this minus, it is plus 2. Correct? This 2 along with I minus 1 is how much? Multiply. 2 into I. Sorry, plus 2i. Then this is plus 2 into minus 1. Isn't it minus 2? Hope clear. Else you expand the determinant. You know the way. Okay. Now, what will get? This is B upon. What is remaining is 2i. C upon what will get? I. D upon what will get? See, these two will get cancelled. Minus 3, isn't it? So directly you can say B is 2i, C is I, and D is minus 3. This is called as cross ratio method. Hope you understood it. Okay. Now, is it our bilinear transformation we can write? Or still anything
Yes,
is
ma'am.
unknown? Anything is unknown? See, our bilinear has 4 unknowns. Yeah, only A is still to be found. How can we find it? You have 3 equations. Make use of any equation and just find A because other 3 are known. Shall I use make equation of 2? Yeah. So let us substitute these in equation 1. Sorry, equation 2, not 1. So what is my equation 2? A what is my equation 1? A plus B minus 2C minus 2D. A plus B. So B is 2I minus 2C. C is I minus 2 into D is minus 3. Can you tell me what you'll get? These two will get cancelled. Minus 2 into minus 3 is minus 6 or plus 6. What is this? Minus 2 into minus 3.
6.
6. So if I shift my 6 here, what is A? Answer for A is minus.
Equal to minus.
minus 6.
Yeah, after writing this, you should write one more last step, that is substitution of these ABCDs in equation 1. And that is the end of the problem if they have not asked invariant points. Therefore, equation 1 becomes W equal to AZ plus B
Equation 1.
divided by CZ plus D. My D is minus, so I'll write it as minus 3. Isn't it? These numbers are real as well as some numbers are complex. This is required bilinear transformation. Okay. This is the second way of solving. Okay. See, one more thing. Even if infinity is there, you can make use of this. Okay. I'll just explain that and that I'll end it because bilinear is almost done. Okay. I've explained both the methods. I'll just 2 minutes, just concentrate. I'll just try to complete the part. Suppose if any of the point is like infinity. Suppose I have to put Z as infinity and W as some 1. Okay, I'm explaining the equation. If so, if I cannot take Z as infinity directly. So what is my equation 1? AZ plus B divided by CZ plus D. You take a reciprocal. If any point, maybe Z or W is infinity, you just take the reciprocal of this equation. Got it? So what is the reciprocal of W? 1 by W.
CZ plus.
Okay, else, okay, I can just explain it in one more way. Is, see, if Z point, if any of the Z point is infinity, don't substitute first. Can you guess what has to be done?
Z common.
Common, very good. So here it is A plus B by Z. Here also you take Z common so that it is C plus D by Z. So this will be cancelled. Now you can put Z as infinity so that this term becomes 0 and W will be 1. This, okay, for general method I'm explaining. Similarly, suppose if I have any point W as infinity. If any point W is infinity, what is to be done then? You should take a reciprocal that time. What is a reciprocal? 1 by W will be CZ plus D divided by AZ plus B. So W is infinity means 1 by infinity, this becomes 0. So you'll get it as I. Suppose Z is I. This is IC plus D divided by IA plus B. So what luckily happens, this will go 0 and you will get the relation between D and C. Okay, so even this same general method can be used if any of the point is given as infinity also. Is the part clear?